Okay, you're on.
So, if you would please tell us your name and your age if you like, and where you're from.
My name is Lois Johnson, and I'm 78, and I live in the South End where my spouse and I have lived for the last 42 years on Warren Avenue.
Excellent.
We were pioneers in the South End.
That's awesome. So, tell us about your favorite pride.
Well, I'll tell you, we weren't in the first pride, but in the second pride, and actually we should have Sheri here, my spouse, to tell you this tale, but I'll tell it because she's funny. I'm no serious. I was working as a television producer at Channel 2 for about 20, 25 years, and at that time, you know, I should have known better because it was, if any place was a bastion of liberals, it was over there. But Sheri was very afraid, you know, that you could lose your job. We are going to look at the parade. This is the second parade. We're not going to participate because you can't have. And so she's standing on the sidewalk, and all of a sudden, she looks over, and I had said to myself, "The hell with this," you know. So, and I jumped in and I took the DOB banner because we were very active in Daughters of Bilitis, and I started marching, and she said, "Oh my God, she's right in the front of me." So she just joined, and from that time on, we were always active. I was president of DOB for about 20 years, and Sheri, I call her the co-president. She doesn't like to be called that, but she was, and there were a lot of people who were very active and did a lot of things. We had party after party in our house, we really enjoyed it a lot. It brought us a lot, and hopefully we brought a lot to the community from the activism that we had there. As far as Pride goes, we then got involved after that first Pride we were in, which I think was the second one, and there were smaller affairs, of course. Maybe that one, the first one, I think, was really more of a, quote, political protest, and that came from Cambridge to Boston, I understand. We were not in that, but we know some people who were. There were very few people, 20 or 30 people. The second Pride that we got involved with was more like 200, 300 people. And then it became, it was still a protest, you know, what do you want? Gay rights, when do you want it? Now! Etc., marching down Charles Street. It's a good thing I wasn't working on Charles Street at the moment. I've been a broker there now for 42 years, but they wouldn't mind either. You know, I would make sure that they didn't mind, you know. But anyway, we got involved to quite an extent there, and so we were on the organizing committee for the first 2 or 3 prides, which was really lots of fun, lots of work, and we also have another funny story from that era. I think it was about the 3rd Pride. We said, everybody said in the committee, oh, we really want a band. We need music, and there was no, you know, gay band at the moment. That was in the 70s. So we went looking and finally found a young band of kids, you know, from some suburban, I don't know, Quincy or wherever it was. And so we asked them, I don't think we particularly identified ourselves as a gay group or whoever made the contract, so they came. And they were little kids. They ranged from about 10 to about maybe 12, 14, and they were so cute, their little hats were falling over their heads. But I think the leader, when he found out he was marching in a gay pride, just about fainted on the spot. But they provided music, and they got paid, and they marched with us. And poor little kids, by the time they were finished, because it was a long, long, long march route, and they were exhausted. But that's one of the funniest things that I remember from one of the early gay prides. I would say, you know, a lot of people are now saying, oh, well, you know, there's a lot of acceptance in the community, and things are getting better for gays, etc., which is true. Thank God, to an extent it is. That is, if you live around Boston or New York or other places, but if you live in the middle of the Bible Belt, or if you live in the middle of Indiana or someplace like that, you're going to have still a hard time. So my feeling is, and this is just a paraphrase, people always say, eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. Well, the way I would develop that is to say, eternal vigilance, eternal activism is going to be the price of maintaining visibility and maintaining whatever rights and whatever visibility we have. Therefore, I think gay pride, as a celebration and not as a political protest, but as an affirmation, has always got to be there. And I think future generations should take that in mind and not just say, coast along and say, oh, we don't really need as much anymore. No, we need it even more. You never know what the future will bring. All you have to do is look at Germany. So So anyway, I've carried on. Is there anything
You
else I can
carried
do?
on well. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So thank
Okay.
you for everything, Lois.
All righty, you're most welcome. And Sheri, as I said, is funnier than